And we are now directly deep diving into one of the key topics of intelligent industry. We need technology to really scale here, and 5G is one of the core topics. And I'm very proud to present now Fotis Karonis from Capgemini to introduce us to a very exciting topic, because he has brought all the experts from Schneider, from Qualcomm, from Capgemini to give us an insight on how to really drive digital transformation with 5G. Welcome, Fotis. Come over.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How are the energy levels today? Hey, that's good. Excellent. I'm super excited to have a great panel. Please come up. Yes. So we heard about intelligent industry and how all these new technologies are profoundly transforming the industries. Manufacturing, healthcare, automotive, energy, utilities, etc. I have the huge pleasure to have our good friends and partners here. I would start from Charles Blondel. He's the head of R&D of Schneider Electric for the hoisting applications. Thank you, Charles. Merci beaucoup. I have Anastasia here from Capgemini, 5G and Edge team. I have Hayone from Microsoft, who is the EMEA Director for Solutions and Products. Super, thank you for being here with us. And I have Sebastiano from Qualcomm. Thank you for being here. You're a Senior Director for Qualcomm Strategy and Development, right? So super, super pleased. So yeah, I mean, no more introduction from me. It's an exciting period with all these technologies, cloud, data analytics, AI are doing all these together with 5G to transform the way that products are built and operated. So I'll go to you. First question to Charles. Thank you for being here, Charles. And could you tell us a little bit about the sectors you are involved in and around the hoisting applications that you're working on at the moment? Yes. Super exciting times, right? Yes. For Schneider Electric. Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So first, few words about Schneider Electric. Schneider Electric is leader in energy management and is providing products, solutions, and services to customers. Also, Schneider Electric is managing some turnkey projects for end users. It could be in different domains such as oil and gas, the data center, or electrical distribution, on others, and also in hoisting application. Maybe we can put the one slide. I prepare one slide. Okay. So on the bottom, I just would like to present to you some kind of hoisting application. On the bottom, you have some application in metal industry. Here you can see this is the same product. Here this is some slab coming from continuous casting. It's very large product of many tons to handle, very hot product. And after some rolling mill process, you get the coil finished product. And with this coil, you can produce some car, plane, and other things. There is other parts, for example, in harbor to unload or load ship, or also in nuclear plant with very particular needs. Okay. What is very important to know in hoisting application, from the beginning, cranes were driven manually. After we saw some semi-automatic cycle, it means that the crane were at 80 or 90% automatically driven by the system. And now, from 10 years about, we are speaking about autonomous cranes. I don't know if you saw there is a car here, it's autonomous car. So we have the same system, but with the crane, it's autonomous, there is no more driver, and the system is working totally alone, like autonomous car. Okay.
Yes, so that's great. And Charles, tell me how 5G connectivity provides solutions to all the work you are doing in 5G and private networks. Okay. Do you see the added value very easily?
Yes. So, this one. Okay. So here it's just an overview of a crane, okay? And I will explain why wireless and more specifically 5G is very important. Here you have the beam, which is the most important part of a crane, which is moving along this axis. On this beam, you have a trolley. So between this beam and the trolley, you need to have some communication, data communication. Today, it's made thanks to festoon cable. So it's a moving cable. So it's moving all the day. There is some choke. And this part is one of the most failure possible part of a crane. Because we are working on autonomous crane, we have to put a lot of sensor on the tool. And if you put sensor on the tool, you have to get back the information to the trolley. So additionally, you had also to have connection between the trolley and the tool. When you speak about autonomous crane, you have also to connect the crane and the ground utilities. You have to synchronize everything. So you have also to have connection between cranes and ground utilities. And also sometimes, when you need to get back the control of the crane, you need to have a remote control. And it's a very particular use case because the driver has to take the control of the crane, but maybe 200 or 300 meters away far away from the crane. So if you want to do that by Wi-Fi, for example, the driver is sending the command to the crane, so you have the latency of the Wi-Fi. You have some latency in the control command system. And after, the driver needs to get the feedback of the motion of the crane. So for that, you have also to send video information to the control room. So you get latency in one way and latency in the second way. And you can trust me, if you need to manage, to master the sway with 40-ton load, with too much latency, it's quite difficult or impossible. And potentially, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, I understand. So there's very big advantages from the usage of the characteristics of 5G in complement with all the other connectivity technologies. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's in fact, hoisting application is a very good candidate for 5G.
Super. Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you, Charles. Yes. Excellent. Having this in the background, Anastasia, I know how much you work on 5G private networks and your passion around that. Could you tell us a little bit about private networks? What do you think is the real value? And then how does this potentially, well, very well actually in this case, apply for the applications that Charles was talking about?
So happy to try and explain what private 5G is, although it's not something we are not already familiar with. It's a wireless network, pretty similar to what we are all consuming through the public network in terms of technology. But in terms of operations, it's a game changer. There are some big differences. A, it's owned by a single enterprise. And B, it's easily deployable within a few hours, maybe a few days, scalable, and also it's custom tailored to serve the purposes and the needs of a single enterprise. Private 5G basically gives the high capacity, high bandwidth, low latency capability that we need to serve data-centric emerging technologies for digital transformation. What is also very important is the dedicated capacity. And any enterprise can use it to develop their own services at their own pace without dependencies to any other networks. Also, it's not an either-or, so we work to have private 5G with Wi-Fi and legacy connectivity methodologies, so we do a rollout that serves the business purposes. And I couldn't have a better way to explain why 5G is important. The previous slide was very useful. So for Charles' application, I think there are 3 key points. One is the remote control, B, CCTV, and cameras, and C, sensors. These are the hot topics that 5G can address very easily. First of all, remote operation, I suppose you don't need you should avoid downtime by all means. So 5G with 99.999% uptime can guarantee that. Also, we deploy it once, we do the site survey once, and then you have a play field to deploy as many use cases as you want over time. We don't need to re-engineer and re-engineer. The second thing is CCTV, as I said, and this means throughput requirements, and we need good quality of the video feed. 5G, we can testify to that. It's very important. Also, the number of sensors we can increase over time. 5G can host hundreds more than the previous connectivity methods. Also, no cables, so life is easier. Also, having low latency use cases for some critical data transmission is always important. And just to close by saying that 5G won't only enable these use cases, but you can also try whatever else you need, digitalize and automate your whole production process.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Koyana. Pagasa untardua.
Good
Perfect,
practice.
from Microsoft. Yeah, thank you so much. And tell us a little bit about the strategy of Microsoft Cloud, but also now 5G private networks, and having a 5G strategy. It's very interesting to know.
So as kind of Charles was already saying, 5G is going to become a critical component of those solutions for the enterprises. And every enterprise is different. So you're going to need to find a simplified way to deploy these solutions with kind of AI, with IoT, with large amounts of data processing, with the right performance in very varied environments. So from Microsoft, what we're looking at is to simplify how quickly you can build this solution. So at the edge, because the data now is going to be generated at the edge, you need to process it kind of quickly, and you're going to have large amounts of data to process, and you want to put together those solutions that are bespoke for the industry. So every industry will have different types of solutions, and 5G will enable all of those different solutions in the different environments. So our ambition from Microsoft is to make it as simple as Wi-Fi. So the key components of your solution, from the right infrastructure at the edge through to the actual AI and ML kind of components that you're going to need to then bring in the intelligence to your operation, will be available and managed from the cloud. So all of the best cloud tools and governance and processes that we already have deployed and many industries are kind of leveraging today will now be available at the edge, including a 5G core from Microsoft, but also third-party components. So we're looking at this as an ecosystem of components that need to be available to meet the needs of the different industries and the different use cases. So simplicity is our main objective from Microsoft.
That's good. Thank you, Hayone. Now, having an audience as enterprises, right? What are the considerations that an enterprise need to have in order to take advantage of the 5G private networks?
So a number of things. I think one of the ones that everyone is thinking about, first of all, is return of investment and cost. Yeah. So in general, most of the existing early deployments of private 5G were technologies that were designed for macro networks, complex, expensive, that take a long time to deploy. So first of all, again, like we're saying, we're trying to simplify and make it cheaper to deploy at the edge. The second part for me is the ecosystem. So think about the fact that you're going to need the connectivity, but also going to have probably applications from different suppliers. So there might be, in some cases, some of your system suppliers will have their own application that they want to bring in to deploy in your premises. So how to make it easy for them and secure to deploy the different applications that you're going to need in all of your different sites. And the third one for me is scale. So how do you make make it easy to consistently deploy those solutions in all of your sites? Because you're going to have multiple sites. If each of them takes 6 months to build, that's going to be expensive. It's going to take a long time. So cost, yeah, and again, simplicity will bring down the cost. Easiness to integrate all of the different components of your solution, and security and scale are the key things that I think you should consider when you're looking at deploying 5G in your industries.
Thank you so much, Hayone. Thank you. Yes. Sebastiano, ciao, come stai?
Buongiorno. Molto bene, thank you.
Great to see you.
Always appreciate your Italian, Fodi.
I try. I mean, I'm super impressed by, Qualcomm has gone through a huge transformation itself, right? Starting from, devices and revolutionizing the chipsets and all that, an industry that is very important for us. And now moving into all the other industries, right? And automotive and manufacturing, etc. How do you see the strategy of Qualcomm from 5G with IoT and enabling the ecosystem? Yes.
Yeah, so 5G is a great opportunity for many verticals, and IoT is one of them. And 5G is here. So 5G has been deployed by more than 280 operators globally, and more than 200 are in pipeline for deployment soon, right? So it's a commercial technology, and now the technology from the first phase is expanding to target new verticals. IoT is one of them, industrial manufacturing, the process industry, they're very important for 5G. So 5G is available. There are all some additional steps that have to be implemented in order to fully capture the value of this industry, implementing things such as low latency, positioning for industrial manufacturing that will deliver on the promise of having the flexible factory reconfiguration capability from the 5G technology. But the technology is available now. It's starting from gateways. Gateways can be deployed today in private networks for IoT use cases. And once you have a private network, you can also leverage the possibility to connect non-latency critical devices such as smartphones, computers, many more cameras that are very important in logistics, in retail, industrial manufacturing. You gave us some example also on the relevance of cameras for those use cases as well. But then there is the evolution of 5G, new capabilities, URLLC, low latency, positioning as well, and TSN to implement the ability to talk industrial protocols as well, right? So this is coming, is happening. It's important to start deploying 5G private networks, to be ready also to expand use cases to the new ones, to fully capture the value of flexible factory reconfiguration. We are working hard with big industrial groups to accelerate the evolution of the roadmap. We announced recently a collaboration also with Bosch, and many more will come that will be announced soon, on the first private network with TSN, low latency and positioning for the connected intelligent edge with many mobile robots interacting with intelligent devices to implement new use cases. So this is coming, and we really look forward to work with Capgemini, Microsoft, and Schneider to accelerate the availability of this solution.
Fantastic. And thank you, Sebastiano. And what are the key benefits, if I may say one or two, for the Qualcomm solution in this, for the 5G private network story?
Yeah, there are a couple of things. One is the RAN automation and management platform. It's a platform residing in the cloud that is meant to make the things simple. So what we want to support, this is three things, is zero-touch provisioning, plug-and-play installation, as well as the management platform. So the overall goal is to make sure that every time the configuration of the private network is changing, every time you have to deploy new small cells, everything is seamless, right? There is no friction, no complexity in adding more small cell, in implementing use cases. So if you have a new small cell, you can install the small cell. There is a profile concept installed in the cloud that is downloaded in the small cell with the configuration, all the parameter settings for the small cell. So zero touch, you don't have to do anything. But then the management platform is also meant to understand the level of performance and KPIs. So for example, if something is not meeting the KPIs that use case is requiring, the management platform detects this situation and reconfigure the network in order to bring the level of performance to the one required by use case. So this is one example. The last one is interoperability and interworking. So we integrate all the various components of a private network testing on our chip in order to make everything working as good as possible. And this is another key value of our solution.
So interoperability is major, of course.
Yeah, and that is why we're very excited about the collaboration with Microsoft, Capgemini, that is making the solution very well performing and optimized. We take care of some of the lower level complexities, and you do the great job of implementing the stuff for customers.
Thank you, Sebastiano. Sebastiano, Qualcomm. Just conscious of time, a few points around what are the major nice outcomes and an optimistic message about what outcomes we can expect in the short term with 5G and the opportunities that you have. Yes, for example, yes.
I think the major outcome for a customer is to have on a site level only one network.
Right.
Today there's a large number of networks, different kind of networks, and it's very difficult for the maintenance team to manage all that. So only one global network, it should be fine.
Perfect. Did you hear that? Yes. Great outcome for 5G. Thank you. Coming to you, Anastasia, what would you say is the big benefit and the big opportunity in the short term?
Well, I would have to agree. I think it's very complex, but an additional parameter to that is that with 5G, you can offload all these complexities to a trusted partner. So you look for outcomes, and someone else looks on the complexities of technologies. And that simplification and the ability to have a high-performing infrastructure, I think, is a massive enabler for innovation.
Thank you, Anastasia. Hayone?
For me,
one big benefit? Yes.
Yeah, one big benefit for me is now we're making it simpler. So that is, to me, a game changer. So come and ask and talk to the team. I think the Capgemini guys can help you create a solution that is bespoke, feels like bespoke, from our existing blocks.
Yeah.
And that is one of the big differences. It is simple because it's low code, much easier to actually put together, and much easier to entry as well. So in terms of the cost and how you're actually going to commercially implement it as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Sebastiano, one benefit?
The benefit is 5G is offering performance that are not known to the wireless domain.
Excellent.
And those performance can unlock many use cases, and the benefit for the industry will be
reliable
huge.
performance. Huh? Yeah. Anastasia, coming to the end of this panel, the role of Capgemini. Could you say a few, just
I'll make it very
30 seconds.
Okay, so 5G is here, but still it's in early days for adoption for the enterprise, and we are here to de-risk and accelerate the journey. We do ideation, business case. We deploy 5G for business outcomes, not for the sake of technology. Also, we have many experts that have spent decades in the shop floor of companies like Schneider, and we develop services from the insides, not buzzwords necessarily, if I may say. And we can navigate the complex ecosystem, single interface in front of the vendors.
Excellent. Thank you. So Capgemini, get the future you want, right? Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Great. Thank you. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Fotis.